Hello. You know, many of you have already left your narcissist, and some of you have not. Some of you can't. Some of you won't. Some of you want to, but don't know how to, would love to, but can't. Okay? And we fall anywhere within the entire spectrum of that. All of us have fallen within the entire spectrum of that. The decision to leave is harder than most people can even believe, because for them it would be easy. The execution of the decision, once you make it, the execution of the decision is hard. Remaining steadfast with the decision is hard. Not going back and forth, and each point feels like an impossible hurdle. Impossible. And you know, anything you find just tells you black and white, leave, go no contact, etc. That's what everything tells you. I don't know. I don't do that. I guess I factor in the human emotion and realize people do things at their own pace when they're ready, if they're ready. I'm just aware that no one can tell anyone, just like no one could tell you. But if you're teetering on how, and you do know you want to leave, I'll tell you something that helped me. This was going back months ago. Months and months. And I mentioned this in another video too. I started to think about insanity. Doing, you know, that famous definition from Albert Einstein, even though they say he allegedly said it, but whatever. Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. So I started saying to myself, am I insane? Am I insane? I mean, that theory works well in quantum theory. Doing the same thing, you know, the definition of it. Math and science, you will get the same answer to the problem every time you do it in math and science. There won't be a different result. When you are doing the same actions over and over and over again in this narcissistic disordered cycle, and you're expecting different results, that's insanity's definition. I started to think of that. Again, this is going back towards the beginning of this year. I began to worry about myself. Was I insane? Now, don't get me wrong. I'm obviously a perfectly lucid person. But in that one category, am I insane? What is going on? Why do I keep doing the same things over and over again? What am I doing? Nene, wake up. Wake up, Nene. Wake up. Oh, sorry, honey pie. You know what I mean? Then I attributed it to perhaps a temporary state of insanity. That helped me for a second, but it wasn't good enough. Because I suppose we could be put into like a temporary state of insanity, like a trance, like a spell, with their evil ways of manipulation in the beginning. Certainly. But then I realized, no, wait. Yes, I was doing the same actions over and over again. But that second part, was I really expecting different results? Did I really expect different results? I think we know the answer to that. So that saved me from thinking I'm insane. I was only playing with one side of it, okay? So you do the same thing over and over again. Sure, I had that down. But I wasn't expecting the same result. I mean, a different result. I knew it was going to be the same result. That's what I mean. If I said it backwards, I'm sorry. I don't know what I said. But I wasn't expecting a different result. Not really. I think deep down inside, I knew the fate of this It was never going to change. It was never going to be different. I don't think I expected different results beyond a handful of times. I think I did, in the beginning, that's how you start, right? And I think that establishes a pattern. You knock yourself out. You think it's going to be different. It's not. You're disappointed again. You knock yourself out. You think it's going to be different. It's not. You're disappointed again. You know what I mean? It establishes your habitual reaction to the crisis at hand, is that you're going to try a bunch of things, and then, of course, it doesn't work out. But I think deep down inside, with all the stuff we're trying, I think we know. We're just hoping. But I think we know. So no, we're not insane. I mean, I definitely think I knew. I just kept repeating behaviors because I was in this addiction cycle. So then, okay, I say to myself, I'm not insane in that I'm not expecting a different result. Yet I keep doing the same thing over and over again. So why? Why, Renee? Why? Why you keep doing the same thing over and over again if you know nothing's going to change? Why do you keep giving in this manner? We talked about addiction. And we just mentioned habit. Those are very powerful behavioral motivators. Outwardly, inwardly, they can definitely steer you to behave a certain way. Fear of being alone, for some of you, will sometimes motivate you to keep trying to work it out with your narcissist and not leave your narcissist. Well, I don't want to be alone. He's better than being alone. I can't do this alone. I don't want to do this alone. He's better than being alone. So you stay. You don't leave. You want companionship. Some of you can't picture, again, not only a fear of being alone, but you really enjoy the companionship of it. You can't picture things without it. There could be finances, and children can be very real. Not that those reasons aren't real. But finances and children can debilitate a separation sometimes. It can be impossible for the two of you to part ways right now, for whatever reason. There could be a business. And I'm not passing judgment. I know anything can be dissolved, and there can, dissolution happens regardless of who owns what, and people do it all the time. But some people are entangled, and they don't want to. It's set up the way that they want, and they're not leaving. Okay. So then they have to learn to deal with the narcissist. That's an entire other leg of this disorder that I don't think is paid proper mind. Again, all the videos, everything you look up, it says, run the other direction. Don't even think about it. Get out while you can. Get out, stay out. Do no contact. Never talk to them again. All those things are ideal if you can. Some people are stuck in it. You've put in so much that it's just going to be so sad you can't picture leaving them. That's a valid reason. They're all valid reasons. If you are mid-decision as to whether or not to leave your narcissist, but you're teetering, one of the things I want you to say is that the sense of peace you acquire, I want you to say this to yourself so that you can anticipate what's coming. That the sense of peace you will acquire once you're separated from the narcissist is unreal. Again, I'm not telling you what to do. But I am conveying to you something that is very, very much a benefit. The sense of peace that you acquire just by leaving them, it goes through the roof. My sense of peace went through the roof. Once I made the final decision, I left them a bunch of times. But my sense of peace, man, and it's more than even pre-narcissist, the sense of peace that I felt, because it's punctuated against what we just experienced. So the sense of peace is even more euphoric, punctuated against that mess. I was peaceful before. I lead my life that kind of way. It was in this turmoil for a while with this guy. Now I got my peace back, but it's even more blissful. It's sweeter because it's punctuated against what I left. And I made it happen. And I began just by leaving him. Again, not telling you to do it. But that's what awaits you. I don't mind telling you that. You should know. Because I get it. I get that you might be scared. That you're in the habit of being there for him. That you're addicted to being there for them. That you have a fear of being alone. That you can't picture it. I get all that. I do. But I also want you to be aware that when you do pull yourself up and out of it, that feels remarkable. And it does a lot for your own self-worth, for your own self-respect, for your own self-esteem, for your self-love. To know that you had the strength to pull yourself out of what really does feel like an impossible situation. Hopeless situation to get out of it, it feels like sometimes. And you know, that high that you feel, that remarkableness, you achieved it. It's your own. You did it. You self-soothed. You went out and got it. You left them. You went out and got this high on your own. These are your endorphins. You did it. Just by leaving him. Unfortunately, in the equation, the only moving factor, if we picture like math, the only moving factor here is you. The only thing that can be changed in the equation is you. He won't change. He is who he is. He's a constant in this mathematical equation. He's the constant. So the only thing that can vary is you. He's not changing. He's a constant. The only thing that can vary is you. Otherwise, it will always equal the same answer. You're behaving the same way, accepting, putting up with, tolerating. They're never going to change. That's always going to equal the same thing. One big mess. If you change one of the factors, then what it will equal will be different. So they can't change, so you take yourself out. That equals peace for you, just to start with. You know, if you're contemplating leaving them, then you've obviously seen enough to make you think of that, right? If you're at this point and you're teetering to leave or not to leave, your narcissist, then you've seen enough. It's time to think of yourself, your children, your life, your sanity. Go get it. These are all your things. Not his, yours. Your life is not his. Your sanity is not his. Yourself is not him. Your children might be his, but they're yours. And you have time ahead of you. Again, if you're teetering, I'm very careful. Because the journey is your own. I believe it. I believe it. Nobody could say anything to me. My phone would ring. And one person in particular, a friend of mine, he would go, "Why don't you just block him? I don't understand." "Oh, why are you even answering him still? I don't understand." Because, you know, I went through my ebbs and flows where he was blocked, he wasn't blocked. He would ring, I wouldn't answer. He would ring, I would answer. He didn't understand this particular friend of mine. Couldn't fathom it. Because I was contemplating leaving them, but I just couldn't make it stick. I was working on it though. And I went through the journey. Was going to be my point, is I had to go through that journey myself. And you have to go through yours. But if you're contemplating it, then you are nearly there. And I just want you to know, it's really nice on this side. I have a very quiet, happy, simple, fabulous little life. That's my line that I say to everybody. I don't bother anybody. I have a quiet, simple, little, fabulous, little, happy life. And it was disrupted with that presence of that person. It was disrupted. I was uneasy. Like right now, I'm very relaxed. No one's coming in the door going to ruin my day. If you're nearly there, I just ask that you give all of these things ample thought. Don't stay stuck in something just because you think you're stuck. Even if it's difficult in the interim period, you could end up more blissful than you could ever imagine.